What's up, everybody? Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. And in this video, we gotta break down the best agent in each role to dominate patch 2.05. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the Duelist, the Sentinels, the Controllers, and the Initiator, and tell you what the absolute best one is, or give you a couple of options so that you can easily dominate your games and climb all the way to Immortal and beyond using the best of the best agents. But go to the GameLeap website in the links down below for high quality, in-depth guides, tips and tricks, VOD reviews. We got so much damn content on the website. You got to go check it out down below right away. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, the first role that we really got to talk about is the Duelist role. And I'm going to really break this down into two different sections. The Operator or Sniping role, which basically has one clear winner, and the Rifle role, which actually has two characters that I would highly suggest for ranked play. First off, let's talk about Rifles, and the big two characters that I would compare head to head is actually Phoenix and Reyna. Now, we all know that Reyna has the possibility or the capability to really carry probably the hardest in ranked out of any single character, and that's why she has such a high pick rate. That being said, I don't think she necessarily has the tools to not only make up the weaknesses of a current team composition because her abilities aren't very flexible, nor is her ultimate that reliable. Phoenix brings forward some things that Reyna just simply does not, like being able to block LOS with a flame wall, being able to check cubbies with his molly, and an ultimate that realistically, when you're talking about the way that ranked games play out, Phoenix ultimate is just the most powerful ult in ranked, in my personal opinion. More often than not, it's gonna get you at least a kill, and sometimes it's gonna get you 2 or 3 kills, and it's gonna let you take sight. So Phoenix ultimate for ranked play, freaking phenomenal for retaking, for taking sight, for getting kills, for gathering information. It is just so amazing. And if you compare that directly to Reyna's ultimate, yes, it can potentially get a lot of value, but that's just it, a percentage chance. And Phoenix ultimate almost always gets you something, whether that's info, whether that's space or kills. And more often than not, because you're going in with the confidence of not fearing your life, you're gonna be playing better than you normally do. And for all those reasons combined, I do think that Phoenix is actually an amazing character to climb the ladder with, even if Reyna, potentially, if you have the skill set needed on her, you might be able to carry some games a little bit harder. But I also do think that her pick rate is a little bit skewed, especially at the lower ranks, because a lot of Smurfs love to just lock Reyna. Now, of course, we have to talk about the other character, the elephant in the room, Jett, who's just a phenomenal operator character. If you want to op, if opping's your thing, you need to be playing Jett. Jett also is just the eco god, which makes her perfect for ranked, being able to use her knives to not only save money for that operator, but potentially clutch up rounds that other characters can't. She's also going to utilize worse weapons better than any other character in the game because she has mobility, so she can utilize the Bucky or the Stinger. Whatever gun is in her hands, it's going to be stronger in Jett or on Jett than any other agent. And for those reasons, Jett is always a viable option in the dueler category, but good luck actually getting her or locking her before your teammates do. Now, moving on to the next role we gotta talk about Sentinel. And there's one proactive Sentinel that I would highly suggest is seeing more and more play in ranked right now, and it's actually Sage. Sage not only has really strong defensive abilities, but being able to get that plant down on a place like Icebox and protect it with a wall, slow a potential swing, that is extremely important. Sage is phenomenal on Icebox, and realistically, the amount of maps that she's good on is just almost all of them. I think the only map that she's truly not that good on is probably Ascent, but even then, you see people like 100 Thieves playing Sage, so obviously they see potential there, and Sage is just one of those characters that in ranked, you get to not only have access to a very powerful ultimate, but you get to provide extra sources of sustain and heal your team. Plus, that wall can just be game breaking. Being able to wall off an area is just so strong. All in all, if you're looking to be a little bit more aggressive, you're looking to make plays in the Sentinel category or the Sentinel role, Sage might be your best bet. But the real debate is Cypher versus Killjoy, because a lot of people don't know which one to pick. We broke this down in the 100 Thieves versus Sentinel matchup, where Dapper always plays Cypher and Steel always plays Killjoy. Basically, no matter what composition they're playing, they always play these characters. So it's clear that even up to the highest level, there's a certain amount of personal preference involved, and I think that that is true for ranked in general. Now, what character do I think you would climb the highest to if you had very low skill, right? I think that that's Killjoy, and it's pretty obvious that's Killjoy. Killjoy can get a ton of value without knowing anything. Not that much intricacy, not having good gunplay. You just put the nanoswarms at the right spot, you gather information and punish rushes with your nanoswarm or your turret. That's pretty much gonna get you a lot of value on Killjoy. Now, yes, you can go really far past that, 100%. But if you are not so confident in the other aspects of the game, Killjoy will climb you farther, but I don't necessarily think Killjoy will make you the best player. I think you have to think a lot smarter to get Cypher to work, and I think you're gonna develop more as a player if you play Cypher more. Now, ultimately, it's gonna be up to your own personal preference, because both of these characters are definitely viable, even all the way up to Radiant, so just pick which one you like the best, which one fits your playstyle the most, and I think you're gonna do just fine in the Sentinel category. Now, the next thing that we gotta talk about is the controller. The big one is Omen versus Astra versus Brimstone. Now, here's the thing. Brimstone, even with those buff smokes, he hasn't been seeing a lot of pro play in comparison to Omen. We don't have any data on Astra because Astra is not seeing any pro play right now because she just can't see pro play because she's not allowed to be played in pro yet. She's too new. And on top of that, we can't really analyze ranked pick rate data because some people don't even have her unlocked. So realistically, we just kind of got to go off how she is playing in games and the general perception of Astra versus Omen and Brimstone. Okay, going back to the Brimstone, Omen is seeing a lot more play than Brimstone for a number of reasons. Even though Brimstone has really powerful smokes, the way that the game is played out a lot of the time, which consists of a lot of rotation, a lot of slow play, having smokes that are on a cooldown is better typically than just having 3 smokes, if I'm being honest. On top of that, Brimstone's Molly is powerful as just a baseline ability, but when you're trying to coordinate in pro play, having a Paranoia is even better. Now, that being said, you might not be able to set up the combos with your Paranoia in ranked, so maybe you might prefer Brimstone because you're gonna get more average value out of Brimstone Molly than you are out of an uncoordinated Paranoia. But if you're even duo queuing, being able to combo that Paranoia with one single teammate is going to make it worth it and is gonna be very powerful. And for those reasons, I think Omen gets the leg up in the controller category. Now, we do gotta talk about Astra, however. Astra, a character, like we said, we have very little data on, but Astra is a character that is really cool because she overlaps multiple weaknesses in a potential team composition. She does similar things, stalling based things that a Sentinel can do, and she does or fills the role that a controller has as well. Now, that being said, one of the big problems with Astra in ranked play is she requires a lot of coordination to get the most out of her abilities. Yes, she could smoke, yes, she can get value out of her ultimate, and sometimes you can catch people with your abilities, but the real value there is comboing. And maybe if you're duoing or tri-stacking, then you can have people play off your abilities. Or I think in pro play, she's gonna see a lot of play because people can really play with her abilities or play off of her abilities. But in ranked, I think Omen's gonna give you the more reliable, consistent value. And he's probably your best bet going forward if you're looking for a controller to play. Most of you are already playing Omen right now anyways. Now for the last role that we gotta talk about, it's the Initiator role. And there are 3 characters in the Initiator role. There's Sova, Breach, and Sky. Now, let's talk about Breach really quickly. A character that everyone knows is really powerful, sees pro play, but his ranked pick rate is astronomically low, and it's pretty obvious why. He's just a character that is hard to play by yourself. He's not a solo queue ranked character because almost all of his flashes need to be followed up by someone else, not yourself. And because of that, because of the coordination it requires, and even a little bit of mishmash or a little bit of mistiming on your abilities can end up getting your team flashed, or the enemy actually swings out early. It just is very hard to coordinate without a proper team. And that is why I don't really think Breach is that good for ranked play, unless of course you're 3-stacking, 4-stacking, but even then it might be hard, and you're probably gonna be able to get more value out of other initiators. Now, before we talk about the clear winner, which is Sova, spoiler alert, let's talk about Sky, a character that sees very little NA ranked play, a character that sees very little play in just ranked in general. But if you go to Korea and you watch teams like Vision Strikers, who some people think is the best team in the best region because their comboing ability is just way better than everyone else, Sky is seeing a freaking ton of play. And I do think that Sky's kit is insanely powerful. Her ultimate might be a little bit lackluster, but her flashes are great. Her ability to gather information with her dog is really nice. And the fact that she gets to heal multiple members of her team is so freaking strong and allows your team to be a lot more aggressive into something like Killjoy Return on that first round, or lets you be less punished for taking potentially ability-based damage from shock darts and nades and things like that. Now, ultimately, the problem with Sky is she's very similar to Breach in the need to synergize with your team. And I don't think that she's going to be the best for ranked play, even if I do think she's going to start seeing more and more play in NA pro scene coming soon. Now, of course, let's talk about the clear winner in the Initiator category, which is Sova. Sova is just amazing at everything. I mean, really, he's awesome. He's good for taking site. He's good for punishing people that rush onto site. He has tools to get people out of corners. Gathering information, has a very powerful ultimate. Sova is just everything you want out of Initiator, and having a Sova on your team just means the duelists are going to have so much easier of a time pushing onto site. And there's a million different situations that one recon dart just completely screws up where the enemy team is holding or hiding, and recon, just the presence of it, make it so you have to position so much more passively, because if you're ever positioned aggressively, trying to, like, let's say, hold close to kill people as they push through a choke, there's like a smoke, they want to flash through the choke and push through, and you're holding close with a shotgun or something like that. One recon gets you killed for free. You die for free, and Sova is just an amazing character that pairs so well with Omen because the recon's on a cooldown, the smokes are on a cooldown. They just really star basically every single team composition together. Now, here's the thing. There is one map that Sova is actually really lackluster, and it's Split. He has a very poor win rate on that map, very low pick rate on that map, and there is a character that you could play that I would highly actually suggest Sova players play in ranked besides Sova on specifically Split, but it's a duelist, and it's Raze. Effectively, you could one-trick Sova on every single map besides Split, and then just play Raze on Split or whip her out on some other maps if you want to. And I think that having a hero pool of Sova and Raze is actually really good, even if they're not in the same category. Raze basically gets to gather information, punish rushes, take site really easily. She has the abilities to really punish people for contesting mid, and she's really good at taking mid and taking up ramps with her boom bot. And for all those reasons, Raze is phenomenal on Split. I mean, we've went over this a million times. Phenomenally high win rate on Split, very high pick rate on Split, and I do think that she's amazing if you're a Sova main, an Initiator main, but for that one map, maybe you pick up Raze or you learn Raze just so you have something better to play than just playing Sova on probably his weakest map by far. But do yourself a favor, go check out the GameLeap website in the links down below for high quality, in-depth guides, tips and tricks, VOD reviews. We got so much damn content on the GameLeap website that you gotta go check it out right now down below. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for coming by. That's all I got for you today. I'm Coach Mills, and of course, until next time,